What's poppin'? We back at it like crack addicts. Today we're gonna be doing melodic hip hop, that Juice WRLD, no cap, vocal effect, and we're gonna be going crazy with it. Shout out to my guy, T-Verse, he featured me on this song. Check him out on IG at T-Verse SA, everywhere at T-Verse. T-E-E-V-E-R-S-E. Uh, and before I play the song, please like, comment, and subscribe, guys. It's very important that y'all are subscribed. Feel me? Cause when I look at my analytics, it shows that most of the people who view these videos are not even like subscribed. Please, it doesn't cost you anything. Doesn't really cost you anything. Just click that subscribe, man. Nah, let me play the song.
I don't wanna love no more. I don't wanna care no more. Cause I go all in and then I lose myself. My heart hurts. For a second, would you listen? I'm tryna tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda harder than everything gon' be right. Cause we both fucked up people. A pretty face, I never thought you'd be evil. You should let me settle the score. Fuck a few bitches and shit. That got me feeling the most. This how I stay with the stick. No, I don't wanna start over. Wanna get closer since you're fast enough. Well, baby, can you come over? Wanna bend you over. That shit's automatic. I don't wanna love no more. I don't wanna care no more.
Yeah, and that's how the song sounds, man. Wait, before I do anything, I just wanna play the lead vocal by itself so y'all can hear what that sounds like.
I don't wanna love no more. I don't wanna care no more. Cause I go all in and then I lose myself. My heart hurts. For a second, would you listen? I'm tryna tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda harder than everything gon' be right. Cause we both fucked up people. A pretty face, I never thought you'd be evil. You should let me settle the score. Fuck a few bitches and shit. That got me feeling the most. This how I stay with the stick. No, I don't wanna start over. Wanna get closer since you're fast enough. Well, baby, can you come over? Wanna bend you over. That shit's automatic. I don't wanna love.
Yeah, and now for the ad-libs and everything else except the lead vocal.
I don't wanna love no more. I don't wanna care no more. Cause I go all in and then I lose myself. My heart hurts.
The vocals without the beat, everything.
For a second, would you listen? I'm tryna tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda harder than everything gon' be right. Cause we both fucked up people. A pretty face, I never thought you'd be evil. You should let me settle the score. Fuck a few bitches and shit. That got me feeling the most. This how I stay with the stick. No, I don't wanna start over. Wanna get closer since you're fast enough. Well, baby, can you come over? Wanna bend you over. That shit's automatic.
Yeah, man, and let me just break down what I did here. Well, my vocals without any mixing, without anything on them, they're pretty much still gonna sound good. Let me switch the plugins off. This is how they sound.
For a second, would you listen? I'm tryna tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda harder than everything gon' be right. Cause we both fucked up people. A pretty face, I never thought you'd be evil. You should let me settle the score, fuck if you.
So yeah, that answers your question. I do record with auto-tune on. I print my vocals with auto-tune. I don't like going in and fixing everything, and I like when I'm tracking to hear myself and what the auto-tune is doing, all of that. This is my tracking, like my tracking bus. This is where I record on Insert 5. What I have here is auto-tune by Antares, auto-tune 8.1, my favorite. I think it sounds the smoothest, the most natural, and it has most saturation according to me. I think EFX sounds a little too harsh, and Auto-Tune Pro and Auto-Tune artists have these digital sounds. It sounds a little bit cold for me. So after that, I have TripTech CL1B. After that, pre-1973 by Achuria. It's an emulation of the preamp Neve 73. Giving my vocals like a little bit of harmonic saturation, just making things sound nice. And after that, Fab Filter Pro Q3, not really doing much with it, just cutting below 100 hertz, boosting the highs here and here. I'm using the dynamic EQ of it too as well, so it gives me this nice tone and texture. And since I am recording in my bedroom, noise suppressor by Waves, which has, it explains itself. It suppresses the noise, you feel me? A gate to cut out any unwanted noise below a certain threshold, and more harmonic saturation, Since I'm not really using like an expensive mic, I saturate my vocals a lot, guys. And then CLA True A, and just making my signal strong and just taming those dynamics, not really going crazy with it. De-esser, taming the S's and T's of everything. And then after that, it's just side chained to my delay. Here, my Waves H delay, it's pretty fast. And then a doubler to spread it out. You feel me? After that, it goes into my reverb, which is a Rev Plate 140 by Achuria. It's on the modern, and I ain't really did nothing to my decay time. I just mixed the blend to 100. Feel me? And then Valhalla Vintage Verb on Concert Hall. Just took the pre-delay down, nothing else. And then I have a Waves 1 knob fatter, saturation. And then I air stereo width to like widen the stereo field and spread my reverb. Feel me? And that's all I do when I'm recording my vocals before taking them to the mix bus, which is on channel 10. I record on Insert 5 and I mix on Insert 10. And let's hear how the vocals sound without all of these. Starts with the air stereo width. Just monoing my vocals. That sounds weird. Monoing. But yeah, putting the width of my vocals to 0%.
For a second, would you listen? I'm tryna tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda harder than everything gon' be right. Cause we both fucked up people. A pretty face, I never thought you'd be evil. You should let me settle the score. Fuck a few bitches and shit. Yeah, got me feeling the Moses. How I stay with the stick. No.
You know, after that, Mike Mod by Antares. Same thing I always do. Emulate some microphones I like. Well, I think my mic sounds a lot like the AKG Perception 120. So that's what I put on the input. And on the output, I put Rode and T1. And I didn't really do a lot because I already had a preamp while tracking my vocals. That's why I have it on 20, the saturation. And that's how it sounds. Without it first.
For a second, would you listen? I'm trying to tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking.
And then with it.
For a second, would you listen? I'm trying to tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda harder than everything gon' be right.
The signal just gets stronger. It just stays in your face. Has a lot more harmonics. You feel me? And then after that, Fab Filter Pro Q3 by Waves. And this is what I'm doing, just cutting out half a dB on that 313, cutting out half a dB on 666, cutting out 882 hertz, and then cutting out 1.3 kilohertz here. Feel me? And that's just all I'm doing, and I'm boosting the top. And also, this is how it sounds before.
For a second, would you listen? I'm trying to tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking.
After.
For a second, would you listen? I'm trying to tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possessed by some demon.
It just cleans it up, basically. After that, I have Antrasol, which is a flanger by D16 group, you know. Just spreading out my vocals a little bit. You can see I'm mixing it in by 10%. I'm not really like drowning it in the flanger. It's not really flanged out like that.
For a second, would you listen? I'm trying to tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possessed by some demon.
It just sounds better with Antrasol on. Let me play with the beat.
My heart hurts. For a second, would you listen? I'm trying to tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking.
And now with Antrasol on.
My heart hurts. For a second, would you listen? I'm trying to tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda harder than everything gon' be right. Cause we both fucked up people.
You feel me? That's what that's doing. And then I have my Waves plugins, Studio Rack. And I have my low chain going on in here. Feel me? Shout out to Waves. Anyone from Waves, hit me up. Get your boy some, man. I've been putting a lot. I've been putting y'all on, like, no kids. And then Waves, NS1 again. Suppressing the noise again. I'm recording in my bedroom, people. It's not treated. I have a bed. I have some blankets. You know, a little carpet. But then that's as far as it goes. Then I have to fix those problems that my room has. And this is what I'm doing with it.
My heart hurts. For a second, would you listen? I'm trying to tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda harder than everything gon' be right. Cause we both fucked up people. A pretty face, I never thought you'd be evil. You should let me settle the score. Fuck a few bitches and shit. Yeah, got me feeling the Moses. How I stay with the stick. No.
You feel me? Then after that, C1, Gate again.
For a second, would you listen? I'm trying to tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possess.
For anyone who doesn't understand what a gate does, my sound is coming in and everything like below this is getting cut out. Below this threshold right here. As you can see, when my vocals play, well, because I am audible and loud and I came with good energy, my vocals play like around here. This is the threshold they play in. So anything that's below 63, gets cut out.
For a second, would you listen? I'm tryna tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda harder than everything gon' be right. Cause we both fucked up people. A pretty face, I never thought you'd be evil.
And this is like really important to me since I punch in my vocals. I don't really write verses, you know. I record bar by bar and I just freestyle stuff. So this like keeps me not clashing with my vocals when I come in. Feel me? Cause I'll be mumbling right before I get in. Well, this and the crossfade. The crossfade. Shout out to FL, by the way. FL gang. I think it's the best door in the world, actually. I use this this DAW every day. Like after that, vitamin, just boosting the highs and half a dB on the high mids. That's how it sounds.
For a second, would you listen? I'm tryna tell.
Well, let me play with the beat. Let me bypass it first. I'll play it without and with it after.
My heart hurts. For a second, would you listen? I'm tryna tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possessed by some demon.
And now this is with vitamin.
My heart hurts. For a second, would you listen? I'm tryna tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda harder than everything gon' be right.
Feel me? This is just a sonic enhancer. One of my favorites. And then after that, a de-esser. Since I'm adding all that high energy, I'm adding all that high frequencies, and then I'm boosting the high frequencies with my EQs and stuff, my vitamins, you know. I have to have a de-esser to tame the S's and T's, so the sibilances are not like too harsh to the ear of the listener or to me when I'm mixing, you feel me? And this is how it sounds with it.
My heart hurts. For a second, would you listen? I'm tryna tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda harder than everything gon' be right. Cause we both fucked up people. A pretty face, I never thought.
Feel me? After that, I have an SSL channel, which is a channel strip. I'm taking out below 90 hertz. I'm just cutting that out, boosting the highs by at least 2 dB. And this is the thing about hip hop, boosting the high mids by 1.2 dB is that the vocals are kind of bright, they're airy, they're not really heavy, since we have 808s, pianos, like instruments that play in the low end kind of space of sound. So the vocals need to stand out and be light, if you understand what I'm saying. Let me bypass this first and play it so you can hear it without it.
My heart hurts. For a second, would you listen? I'm tryna tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda harder than everything gon' be right.
And then with the SSL channel.
My heart hurts. For a second, would you listen? I'm tryna tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda harder than everything gon' be right.
And then let me switch off the beat so you can hear it clearly without.
For a second, would you listen? I'm tryna tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda harder than everything gon' be right.
And then with.
For a second, would you listen? I'm tryna tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda harder than everything gon' be right. Cause we,
you know, and that's sounding nice, man. Like, by the point you get to here, you can probably just add reverb and delay and it'll sound ready. But then since I'm a fucking perfectionist and I overdo stuff, I just had to keep on going. Feel me? After that, I have a Slate digital virtual mix rack. And shout out to Waves for actually doing this new feature of making Studio Rec be able to host third-party plugins. Cause before you could only have like Waves plugins within Studio Rec, but then nowadays you can have anything else as long as a VST3, as long as there's a VST3 for it. I'm not using you, so let me delete you, and let me bypass these plugins. So I explained what a gate does, and I'm just gating my vocals again. This is how it sounds without.
My heart hurts. For a second, would you listen? I'm trying to tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking.
And then with the gate.
My heart hurts. For a second, would you listen? I'm trying to tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda hard to think that everything gon' be right. Cause we both fucked up people.
You feel me? And after that, microphone emulator. Man, I'm just emulating the sound, the tone, the harmonics of the C800. The Sony C800, the most famous. This is what the industry artists use to record their vocals. Hip hop vocals. It's known for having a bright and a MIDI. What do I say? The sound is focused on the mids. It adds harmonics on the mids. Without it, this is how it sounds.
My heart hurts. For a second, would you listen? I'm trying to tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking.
And then with it.
My heart hurts. For a second, would you listen? I'm trying to tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda hard to think that everything gon' be right.
And then after that, I have a virtual channel, man. It's just harmonic saturation. See, I ain't really like boosting that whole lot. I ain't going crazy with it. Have the noise reduction on also. This is how it sounds.
My heart hurts. For a second, would you listen? I'm trying to tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda hard to think that everything gon' be right. Cause we both fucked up people.
And then after that, I have a FG Stress, which is like the distressor. If you know the distressor, this is the Waves version of that. And then it also adds like this saturation. This is easily becoming like one of my favorite compressors. Shout out to Slate Digital. And this is how it sounds without it first.
My heart hurts. For a second, would you listen? I'm trying to tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda hard to think that everything gon' be right. Cause we both fucked up people.
This is how it feels. This is how it sounds with it.
My heart hurts. For a second, would you listen? I'm trying to tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda hard to think that everything gon' be right. Cause we both fucked up people.
And let me play it without the beat.
For a second, would you listen? I'm trying to tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possessed by some
I feel like this FG Stress like controls the dynamics quite a bit, because without it, the vocals be going crazy. They be everywhere, all over the place. The dynamics are just going off. You can even look at the meter.
For a second, would you listen? I'm trying to tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda hard to think that everything gon' be right.
But then we don't want that. We want them a little bit more tamed, more controlled, and this is what that does. And there's a really good preset in the vocals, warm and smooth, in the FG Stress, and this is how it sounds with it.
For a second, would you listen? I'm trying to tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda hard to think that everything gon' be right. Cause we both fucked up people. I'm pretty.
Feel me. Shout out to Slate, man. Shout out to Waves. After that, I have R comp. On the last videos, I forgot to show people my R comp settings. Well, this is what they are at. Another thing is you can't really copy my compressor settings unless you're recording at with my levels. I hope that makes sense. Like, if your vocals don't hit my levels, then it doesn't make sense for you to be using these settings. You feel me? So what you should just do is just check the input, how hot you're coming in, and then put the threshold on that, on like almost the peak, but then not the peak, but then not below like minimum. I don't know, in the middle of your signal. Look, you can observe the threshold right now.
For a second, would you listen? I'm tryna tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel on my thoughts possess.
You know, have it in the middle of what your vocals are coming in at the top. Like, your vocals shouldn't go like way below your threshold, but then they shouldn't go way above your threshold. The threshold should be in the middle. And then what this compressor is just doing is just taking the vocals that are below the threshold and pulling them up by 2 dBs for every 1 dB for every 2 dBs. That's what ratio means. And then when the vocals go over the threshold, it pulls them down, and that's what this does. I hope I simplified it for people who are learning how to mix and stuff.
For a second, would you listen? I'm tryna tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel on my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda harder than everything gon' be right. Cause we both fucked up people.
Feel me? And let me play it with the beat.
My heart hurts. For a second, would you listen? I'm tryna tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel on my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda harder than everything gon' be right. Cause we both fucked up people. A pretty face, I never thought you'd be.
After that, I have, I think Arvox, if not Renaissance X. Yeah, Arvox. And what this is just doing is another compressor, but then I'm just using it to add gain. You see, I'm not really gating anything. I'm just compressing the whole signal, just adding like 0.6 dB of gain. And then it also has a tone. It saturates my vocals a bit, so I love the Arvox. But then if the vocals I feel like they are already too warm, I'll use the Renaissance X version of this. You feel me? This is how it sounds without first.
For a second, would you listen? I'm tryna tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking.
And now with the Arvox.
For a second, would you listen? I'm tryna tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel on my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda harder than everything gon' be right.
And now let me play with the beat.
My heart hurts. For a second, would you listen? I'm tryna tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel on my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda harder than everything gon' be right. Cause
you feel me? And then some additive EQ, just polishing up the vocal a little bit, making it shine. Fresh Air by Slate Digital, and this is how it sounds without it first.
For a second, would you listen? I'm tryna tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking.
And then when you add that fresh air, you know, just adding that mid presence and that high air, that's how it sounds.
For a second, would you listen? I'm tryna tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel on my thoughts possess.
Let me bypass it on and off while playing the vocal so it becomes more clearer if you can't really hear the difference. I hope you're listening on monitors or on your proper headphones and stuff.
For a second, would you listen? I'm tryna tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel on my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda harder than everything gon' be right. Cause we both fucked up people. A pretty face, I never thought you'd be. They should let me settle the score. Fuck a few bitches and shit. That's what me feeling.
You can hear when we add the fresh air, like the vocals just come alive. You feel me? Let me play it with the beat.
My heart hurts. For a second, would you listen? I'm tryna tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel on my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's
and now let me play it with the fresh air.
My heart hurts. For a second, would you listen? I'm I'm tryna tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda hard to think that everything gon' be right. Cause we both fucked up people.
You feel me? And then after that, I have the air chorus, which is just a chorus. Some modulation, some spreading of my vocals. Well, you can hear how it sounds without the chorus.
For a second, would you listen? I'm tryna tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking.
And then with the chorus, the vocals are gonna sound a little bit spread out.
For a second, would you listen? I'm tryna tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda hard to think that everything gon' be right.
And then let me play with the beat.
My heart hurts. For a second, would you listen? I'm tryna tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda hard to think that everything gon' be right. Cause we both fucked up people.
Feel me? And then after that, I have a Fab Filter Pro de-esser. And then it's just de-essing, taking out S's and T's, taming them, not taking them out. Pardon.
My heart hurts. For a second, would you listen? I'm tryna tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda hard to think that everything gon' be right. Cause we both fucked up people. A pretty face, I never thought you'd be evil. You should let me settle the score. Fuck a few bitches and shit. That got me feeling the most. That's how I stay with the stick. No.
Y'all can see when I hit the S's and T's, the de-esser does its job. And then after doing that, I add a Mag EQ4, just adding air to my vocals, 2 dB on that 40 kilohertz, pardon. And then this is how it sounds.
My heart hurts. For a second, would you listen? I'm tryna tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda hard to think that everything gon' be right.
As y'all can hear, it just polishes up the vocals, man. After that, I have a saturation knob, cause I'm really just combating the beat at this point and just trying to add body, because I was taking out body with the EQs and adding highs. Well, how to reintroduce body to your vocals, that warmth, is just to saturate them a little bit. So I saturate my vocals. This is a free plugin, by the way, by Softtube. It's called Saturation Knob. And this is how it sounds with it.
My heart hurts. For a second, would you listen? I'm tryna tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda hard to think that everything gon' be right. Cause we
feel me? And then let me play it with the reverb. Let me just open these reverbs so y'all can see these settings. This is how it sounds with
my heart hurts. For a second, would you listen? I'm tryna tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda hard to think that everything gon' be right.
And then now let me switch off the beat.
For a second, would you listen? I'm tryna tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda hard to think that everything gon' be right. Cause we both fucked up people. A pretty face, I never thought you'd be evil.
You feel me? And that's all that's doing. You feel me? And then after that, I have my delays. H delay. It's kind of a slap delay because I didn't really want to have a lot going on since my ad-libs and harmonies are already going crazy. It's just something to fill up the spaces and make the vocals sound a little bit more wide.
For a second, would you listen? I'm tryna tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda hard to think that everything gon' be right. Cause we both fucked up people. A pretty face, I never thought you'd be evil. You should let me settle the score. Fuck a few bitches and shit. That got me feeling the most. That's how I stay with the stick. No, I don't wanna start over. Wanna get closer since you're forcing that. Well, baby, can you come over? Wanna bend you over? That shit's automatic.
As y'all can hear, that's all that's doing. And I think we are about done with the lead vocal.
My heart hurts. For a second, would you listen? I'm tryna tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda hard to think that everything gon' be right. Cause we both fucked up people. A pretty face, I never thought you'd be evil. You should let me settle the score. Fuck a few bitches and shit. That got me feeling like Moses. How I stay with the stick. No, I don't wanna start over. Wanna get closer since you're fast in that. Well, baby, can you come over? Wanna bend you over? That shit's automatic.
And then now that we're done with that, we can move on to like the ad-libs and stuff. Let me play the first track of ad-libs.
Says like some demon. Won't be right.
As you know, man, like we don't really do much with the ad-libs. Just telephone effect them out. A little bit of stereo shape, and then send them to Valhalla delay. Actually, it's at a half note, so these will make sense with the vocals.
Would you listen? Know what I'm thinking? My thoughts put. For a second, would you listen? I'm tryna tell you how I feel and what I'm thinking. Feel like my thoughts possessed by some demon. It's kinda hard to think that everything gon' be right. Cause we both fucked up people. A pretty face, I never thought you'd be evil. You should let me settle the score. Fuck a few bitches and shit. Since you fast tonight. That shit's automatic.
That's all I was doing. And then my harmonies.
This is how I stay with the stick. No, I don't wanna stop.
Yeah, that's all that's doing. And then that's how I got that sound, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This preset, this whole template will be like for sale. You'll find the link in my description. Hit me up for mixing, mastering, all of that features. Hit me up on IG, hit me up. My email will be in the description below. Well, my mastering chain, I just have the glue on it, and a Fab Filter Pro Well True. What am I doing to the beat? Center Tube Tech PE1C. And I'm just boosting 100 Hz by 0.4 dB. Just to make the bass come alive, because I felt like it wasn't knocking enough. Then thank y'all for watching this video, man. Let me play this for the last time.
I don't wanna love no more. I don't wanna care no more. Cause I go all